Open houses, Josh, what is going on this week?
Time and market correlates to how much you make. According to new data published by the CoreLogic, it's all about how long you're in the market for.
It's crazy, Josh. So it was literally the difference of 3 years from making money to losing money in property. So over the June quarter, the average person held their home for about 9 years. And amazingly, the median person that sort of made profit was 9.5 years. So a lot of people actually lost out. And the ones that lost money only held for 6.6 years, which is insane.
I think for a lot of first home buyers, it's very daunting to think that, with the whole COVID thing going on, that there's been headlines to say that property prices could fall off a cliff. That it's pretty reassuring to know that the longer you keep your property, the more likely you are to make a profit.
Yeah, I think the more daunting thing is the thought of having to hold a property for almost 10 years, a decade. If I think about what I was doing 10 years ago, it can be a bit frightening, but it's the reality. So when you're looking at buying your first home, it's worth probably thinking ahead. And if you're only gonna live there for 5 years, then maybe who you're gonna rent it to, what it's gonna look like, and are you in a position to hold it longer term? Because like you can see from the stats here, Josh, if you're planning on selling within 5 years, you're pretty much not even gonna have enough money there to cover the real estate agent fees, your stamp duty and other stuff. So definitely it's about time in the market, not time in the market.
And on to our next topic, buyers are returning to the market. And we're seeing discounts ease across capital cities. According to the latest statistics by CoreLogic, September nationally, the median discount was only 3.3%. Compared to a year ago, this was over 4%. Now with capital cities, we're also seeing days on market reduce to 40 days versus a year ago, 46 days.
So it's one of those amazing times where actually properties are selling quicker than they were a year ago. There's more buyers out there, there's less sellers, and potentially there's property prices that are getting pushed up a little bit. So I think the interesting point here, Josh, is to realize that there's probably going to be a bit more competition this year than there was last year if you're out there buying. So you want to be organized. I guess like we went through in our video last week, you want to make sure you know what your budget is, what you can afford, and have done your research on the property. So you go in there and you put your best foot forward to secure your home, really. Auctions are back. Tell a friend.
Auctions have made a rebound. Looking at Sydney, on October 24th, 2020, we saw the clearance rate was up to 75% compared to that of the 5th of September this year, which was only 57%.
So obviously with social distancing rules, with COVID and all the stuff that happened earlier in the year, auctions have taken a bit of a beating. But now with consumer sentiment up, everyone's kind of back at the market. Even in Melbourne, they've allowed up to 10 people to auctions and inspect properties. It's kind of kicking off really at the end of the year. The interesting thing, and you probably would have seen Nathan's video last week, they have started moving a lot of auctions online. So you can kind of do a bit of both if you want. You can kind of phone in or do it via the internet. So a bunch more properties are going to auction now. So what are your sort of top 3 tips if you are thinking about going to auction?
Yeah, great question. My 3 tips are be prepared. So make sure you do all your searches from building and pest to your solicitor searches recommended. My second one is to have your game plan. So before you go to auction, know what your limit is and make sure you don't go above it. And third and finally is to do your research as to the comparative sales in the area. So what you want to know is what's selling, what's comparing, and where the price point will be for that particular property.
If you're looking to go to auction, check out our video Nathan did a couple of weeks ago with the jump bidding techniques. Pretty interesting. Could actually help you get the place that you want. Show me the money!
Show me the money.
Banksy has done it again. After a couple of stunts earlier in the year, has just sold some art for almost 10 million US dollars. It's a bit of a homage to Monet, one of his famous paintings there with, an idyllic setting of shopping trolleys and a bit of a traffic cone there. So if you're thinking about not worrying about property and going to art, could be a good one for you.
And on to our final topic, mortgage stress is at an all-time low. And this is according to the latest research from Roy Morgan, who measures over 50,000 Australians each year.
Yeah, pretty incredible, Josh. I think with the combination of low interest rates, obviously government support's in place, and people are spending their money on houses rather than going traveling, it's looking like a pretty good time to buy. Even like we reported last week, the Reserve Bank's committed to saying, well, rates are going to stay low for at least the next 3 years. So when you're comparing the cost of buying a home and owning it to that of renting, a lot of times it's working out pretty cheap to actually buy a place versus renting and all the other costs associated.
And wrapping up, the overall theme for today is that you can never predict whether it's a high or low market. All you can look at is whether it's the right time for you and your family. So if you have to upgrade or if you're looking to buy your first home, well, oftentimes, particularly with how low rates are, it's actually cheaper to buy than it is to rent.
That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know what you think of these new Finance in 5 videos. If you like them, if you don't, if you've got any suggestions, if you've got any articles, hit us up or leave a comment below. Love to hear from you.
And remember, hit that subscribe button below to keep up to date all things property and finance. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Have a nice day.